Hello, and welcome to another episode of More D&I Discussions, a series of conversations with C-suite executives who share their candid insight into many of the important aspects of creating and advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion principles and practices in their organizations. I am Marlon Moore, president of Marlon Moore Consulting, and thank you for joining us. Today, I am so happy, so pleased to be joined by Tanny Crane, President and CEO of Crane Group. Crane Group is now a 76-year-old, just celebrated 75 years, so happy anniversary, privately held, diversified portfolio company, comprised of 3 operating businesses, as well as an investment company that holds real estate, private equity investments, equity bonds portfolio, and hedge funds. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome Tanny Crane to More DEI Discussions. Welcome, Tanny. How are you?
I'm great, Marlon. Thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure to start the year speaking with you.
Oh, it's truly my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I shared a little bit about Crane Group in your intro and bio, but how about you just tell the audience a little bit more about Crane Group and why diversity, equity, and inclusion is important to the organization and to you?
Well, thanks, Marlon. I do have to update. We are, as you had mentioned, we're a portfolio business, 76 years. And in December, we just acquired our 4th portfolio business. So that's
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, simply put, we invest in people and business and in good. And, we work hard to work with our partners, investing in quality companies and help them provide the highest quality services or products for their clients or customers. And the reason we got into DEI is simple. After the murder of George Floyd, I think as a nation, we all stepped up and said, we all play a role here. And as a company, as people, and as a community, we need to make change. And so we looked inside ourselves first and said, what are we doing currently? And then where do we need to go? And the first thing was education, just in terms of educating ourselves and then making changes.
Makes sense. Now, a lot of companies will call D&I a program or call this an initiative. You all have created strategic objectives for this work, which suggests you're integrating this into your entire business operation. So if I understand correctly, you all have 5 strategic objectives: workforce, supplier diversity, community, investment diversity, and education. Why did you all select those 5 areas to kind of focus on?
Well, it was important for us to be holistic. And as you said, this is not a project or initiative for us and for many others. This is a journey. So this goes over years, and we'll never get there. But it has to be a part of every part of our business. So from the suppliers to the way we're recruiting, we're hiring, retaining our associates, and being an inclusive employer. But it also has to transform in terms of education, like every day, every week. How are we educating ourselves, becoming better people for it, and working together? But it also includes our investments. If we're not willing to invest differently, then how are we going to help with the racial equity disparity? So, we have looked at our investment portfolio, who are our investment managers, and who are we investing in? And in what types of areas? So we have chosen for right now affordable housing and reducing the racial equity gap. So we're very prescribed in terms of where we're investing our dollars through philanthropy and through our Crane investment company portfolio. So it has to be woven throughout everything we do.
I love the fact that you all have taken an educational approach. Awareness is important. We don't know what we don't know. So let's educate our team members. Let's ensure retention of our workforce. Let's recruit diversity. Let's look at our suppliers. What are we spending? How can we ensure that we impact economic inclusion? But what I really enjoy about what you said, Tanny, especially as we think about generational wealth, is how you all make investments.
We look around and we have many role models out there in the community that are doing great work. And so we're trying to, again, practice what we preach. You know, we can't learn about it, be educated, and then not follow through in all aspects of our business.
That's phenomenal. So as you all kind of started the journey and you continue the journey, you've learned lessons along the way. And the best practice in this work is establishing an internal advisory council to help move the needle. It's phenomenal that you all have a statement on your website and a whole, link devoted to DEI, but you got to do the work. And so how effective is your internal advisory council? How effective has it been in helping you all sustain your progress?
I think that is why our journey continues and continues successfully, is because we have a council, because it's our people here. It's our colleagues who are continuing the development. It can't just be me. It can't just be a few at an executive committee. It can't be top down, but it has to be bottom up, top down. It has to be throughout the organization. So this council has accountability, and they represent, I think, every function of our company. They represent the heads of each of our 5 pillars, and they get together routinely to review where we are, what are our goals for the year, what progress we're making, what are our obstacles, how can we get rid of those obstacles, and what do we need to do to move forward? Because I really believe the only way it continues to gain ground and continue that momentum is because our associates, because they have the best ideas.
Sure.
They're the ones that are coming up with videos, with opportunities for education, or places to visit, and cultural observations and personal experiences, and their own testimonials. So they're the ones that keep us going.
Wow, that's excellent. You mentioned a key word in all of this is accountability. Accountability. And to make sure that the entire organization is bought in, it sounds like your advisory council has been a very strong resource for ensuring accountability, not just at the top, like you mentioned, but throughout the entire organization.
Yeah. So, for example, every one of our managers understands our supplier diversity opportunities, and so it is now, we've had a little over a year under our belt. So starting this year, all new suppliers fill out a form. I mean, they all now have expectations in terms
Sure.
of any new supplier coming in. So just that alone, Marlon, has changed our whole process.
Wow.
Just the manager knowing that every time they think about a new supplier, there's a form to fill out, there's goals that we have to attain, and there's just more that goes into it than someone or it was recommended, or it's the easiest to go online. It takes that additional step, but the quality of our suppliers has been enriched because of it, and that our managers see it. So in every one of our pillars, they're holding themselves accountable. I don't have to do anything about that anymore. That's what they do.
That's right. You've just done so much. So what parting advice do you want to leave to organizational leaders, and maybe not just the CEO, but 1 or 2 levels down? What advice would you leave them for doing more in this space?
Invest the time. Be willing to have difficult conversations, but in a productive way. We'll never move our community forward if we can't, all of us, have conversations that can lead to positive change. There are some just exceptional people in our community that deserve opportunities. And we know that the end result from an economic development standpoint is tremendous. So we need to really roll up our sleeves together, link arms, and say, we can make this happen. And we all have that competitive spirit. I always use Columbus is distinctly different. And we have an ability to come together and make it happen. This is our opportunity to be number one because we do come together.
Tanny, thank you so much for what you do for the Crane Group and all of your associates. Thank you so much for what you do for the city of Columbus. Thank you for your willingness to participate in today's discussion and be a change agent for this work. So I wish you all another successful 76 years.
There you go.
And I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Marlin Moore Consulting is a diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy development firm helping organizations build their diversity strategy by providing them with resources to support their execution. For more information, visit marlinmore.com. And remember, diversity starts with you.